Hello, folks. I just want to give you my first report for my administration. I'll say our administration, or mine and your administration, for the second term. You know, I've been elected governor 2 times. Still, I'm not an ancient age man, but I'm an old man, and I'm not too old. I'm 46 years old. I'm 4 years younger than Bill Graves was when he was elected his first term. In this second term, I have been in office for a few days over 1 month, and I want to give you a report on our accomplishments for that 1 month. It's namely this: a road program. You know, I've preached mailbox roads down through the years. Before I ever run for governor, I was preaching mailbox roads. And I'm preaching mailbox roads tonight. I was lucky or able, I was humble in this, that I was able to get through the legislature double the largest dollar and cents road program that's ever been put through the legislature before, $50 million, to match the federal government's appropriation of a like amount. In addition to that, we were able to get through the legislature additional money for the operation of the highway department. Now let's see where this money is going to. I know you want to know where it's going. And I'm anxious about that myself. I've busted my teeth out on these mountains in North Alabama, riding over these country roads, selling insurance. And I won't tell you where that money's going. It's going out there where it costs a lot of money to build roads. It's going to mailbox roads. That's what I've always preached. Let me tell you one other thing. This $50 million program is a fact of law. I signed it in law yesterday. But let me tell you something else. I'm going to Washington to encourage more federal money for rural route roads than has ever been allotted before. And I was in Washington, and I had assurances that Alabama would receive support for its rural route roads. And that was my purpose of going there. And since I have returned, I feel more confident than ever that every rural route road in Alabama will be paved during this 4 years, or will be set up for being paved during this 4 years that I'm governor. Now, that has been enacted into law. I have been to Washington. I have put every ounce of weight behind a rural program along with the interstate program of President Eisenhower. And I think that I can assure the people, the rural sections, the rural route people, they will have an all-weather, dust-free, mud-free mailbox road during this coming 4 years. Folks, I told you a while ago about going to Washington to really get the federal government to put more money on mailbox roads. And I think that I have been fairly successful in doing that. But I have called another special session of the legislature. I have only 4 special programs other than routine programs. I advocated on the stump, and every one of you remember what they were. One of them was mailbox roads, the other was industrial development, and the other was a constitutional convention to reapportion this state, of which it's in vital need of. And the one that I have just called, and we met Friday, is old age pensions. Now let me talk to you just a little bit about old age pensions. You who are listening to me, who might be young, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 21, 22, 23, just starting out with your family. You might not think much of $50 a month when you get 65 years of age at your youthful age. But there are many people in the state of Alabama. When they were 25, they were wealthy. When they were 30, they were wealthy. When they were 35, they were wealthy. When they were able to get out and go and put that push to it, of which I have been able to do up to now, thank God. I don't know how long I'll be able to do it. But when they were able to put that push to it, they were able to make a living for themselves. And they are the people that went out. And they are the people that set the foundation, them and their fathers and mothers. Set the foundation for our government as we know it today, our freedom, our liberties. They fought, they worked, they slaved, they sweated, and I have called this special session for one purpose and one purpose alone. Is to recognize those people who reach 65. Recognize them for the great work and the great pathways they have paved for me and for the state of Alabama and the people of Alabama. They sweated, they worked, and they slaved to have a good road system. They sweated and they worked and they slaved to have a good school system. They sweated and they worked and they slaved for everything that we hold dear to ourselves, which is our fundamental liberties. And I've called a special session of the legislature to provide revenue, to provide them with a minimum of $50 a month in their declining years. And that's every person over 65. Now, some folks say that's socialism. Well, if it's socialism, I'm for socialism. Care not what it may be, I'm for it. The federal government provides 38 of the $50 for old age pension. All the state of Alabama has to provide is 10 plus 2, which is $12. I have called that special session, and I expect it to come to pass, and I hope you'll tell your legislators that you want this to come to pass for the welfare and the good and the progress of the great state of Alabama. I've promised that many times in campaigns, and I expect it to come to pass. I hope you will support me in this great movement. Thank you. In addition to our mailbox road program, it recently passed a special session, an extraordinary session, they formally call it, which passed handsomely, twice more dollars and cents than any other administration has ever received for a special road building program. Then the special session now in session, extraordinary session they call it, for our old people. And I feel confident that there will be a minimum of $50 a month provided for every person over 65 who desires to apply for an old age pension. But there's other parts of my program that I proposed to the people of Alabama on the stump, and which they approved in 61 out of 67 counties, of which I'm very humble, and I want you to know that. There were other parts of that program that I proposed on the stump, and most of you heard me propose it. First, in addition to the special session we have now and the special session we've just passed, in addition to old age pensions and mailbox roads, I also proposed a program on the stump, an industrial development department for the state of Alabama, an outstanding board composed of outstanding leaders of this state, to set up a department of our state government charged with one responsibility, and that responsibility is this. First, to organize local industrial corporations to employ our people and to produce goods for the peoples of this earth. That's their first duty. Second duty of that board will be to do this: to go out among the states of this nation and the nations of this world to entice industry here that desires to decentralize. We don't want industry here for the purpose of getting cheap labor. Our labor is just worth as much as any labor in the world. But as governor before, I found this among the enlightened industry of this nation, that they didn't want cheap labor and they didn't want special considerations. They wanted to be among our natural resources, wanted to know if we had good schools, good roads, good hospitals, and a good community in which to live. So that is my major concern after the special session that's now in session is over. Industrial development to provide employment for the people of Alabama, by the people of Alabama, and especially by our local citizens. I thank you.